I decided to watch the Swan Princess sing along because I'd never seen the Swan Princess to my recollection. I actually thought it was just a sing along version of the Swan Princess. That's actually not the case. Apparently, it is a collection of, I think, 10 songs from the Swan Princess, the Swan Princess 2, and the Swan Princess 3. I didn't even realise there were 3 films. Once I realised that, I decided to keep watching it because it's only about half an hour. And I decided to watch it for 2 reasons. One, I just love a sing along. And 2, I wanted to see if it would kind of whet my appetite for the main film, or films, I guess. And I will answer that question in a little bit. I also want to share one lyric that I laughed for the wrong reasons. It's such an awkward lyric, but it's made me curious to check out the film. But will I do that? I'll decide in due course. This was released in 1998. It's directed by Richard Rich, written by Laurie Bonnell Stevens, and we have our collection of songs. I don't know if the songs are in order. I have absolutely no idea if the songs in the sing-along are in the order of the films themselves. But what I will say is that it gave me a basic overview of what the films were about. It certainly introduced me to the character of the Swan Princess and certain other characters. But that being said, there were also characters whose roles I didn't fully understand, and that's obviously not the fault of the sing-along. But the point there is that this definitely isn't a substitute to experience those films. I didn't get the full experience, which I didn't expect to do, of course. But the songs themselves are really catchy. There were a couple of songs, I don't know the names of them, but there were a couple of songs that actually stood out to me as being contenders for songs that would actually get stuck in my head. And I'd be quite curious to watch those films for those particular songs. So definitely the soundtrack has made me curious. And the animation quality is actually not too bad. The animation style is quite pleasing. Visually, it's pretty entertaining. We have a nice colour palette, a lot of bright colours, and the character designs are quite good. The vocal performances are brilliant. And the sing-along aspect is very effective. Obviously, we have the words on the screen. They're very clear, they're brightly coloured, they're easy to read, easy to follow along with. And because the songs are quite catchy, even though this is the first time I'm hearing this song, or these songs, it was kind of easy to pick up the lyrics as I went along. So when I started watching this, I did think, am I going to actually be able to sing along to any of this? And it was, for most of the songs, and most of them are quite lively and upbeat, it was quite easy to pick up the lyrics and sing along. So that definitely is great. Presented very, very well. Great mix of songs, and they flowed very well from one to the next. I can't comment, of course, on whether this is the best song selection from the films, but watching this for the first time, I thought the song selection was pretty good. Am I going to go and watch the films? I don't know. I'm curious, and I will share a lyric in particular in a moment that has made me very, very curious. I'm not in a rush to watch The Swan Princess, but having watched the sing-along, it makes me think that the Swan Princess films might be quite an uplifting, mostly happy experience. And there are obviously times when we can really benefit from that kind of relaxing, easy watch with some pretty decent animation. So I think I will put the film to one side and watch it when I need that kind of film. I'm not going to jump to watch it, but the sing-along has made me curious. And if you are also curious about the Swan Princess and you want to sample the kinds of songs, the animation style, the themes that are explored, this is a really good way to do that in the space of half an hour. Not to the extent where I now feel like I could tell you exactly what happens in those 3 films, but I definitely have a stronger idea of what to expect. And with that in mind, I have made the decision to not immediately watch the feature film, but I think I will at some point. And now I will share the lyric that absolutely baffled me. And this is sung by the prince to the Swan Princess. And the lyric is, "She started out as such an ugly duckling." What? You can't say that to anybody. That's horrible. That's horrendous. And it just baffled me. And because they were so blunt with that, it has kind of made me wonder if they're blunt with other things and they say things they maybe shouldn't do in other aspects of the film. So maybe I'll check that out. If anybody knows which film that's from, which of the Swan Princess films that's from, please let me know. I'd be very curious to find out, but I'm sure that I will in due course, find out, at least if it's from the first film, because I will watch the first film eventually. I don't know if I'll watch the other two. We'll see how that experience goes. But for now, I thought the Swan Princess sing along was an interesting experience. It definitely gave me a good taste of what's in store with the films. And if you feel like you could benefit from a similar experience, then I definitely recommend checking out the sing along.